Nothing much has happened. He came here at the invitation of Mr. Prakash Singh Badal, that's the Minister of Punjab, and he came to Delhi. The visit was between December 12th and December 15th. He came to Delhi. He met the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister, and he also, went to see the metro, and also. The newspapers reported that he was supposed to go to the solid waste management center in Jashola, where we are converting solid waste to the solid waste management unit we have there, and we are also gathering energy from solid waste. So basically. He came here to officially he came here as the guest of honor for the Kabaddi Championship in Ludhiana and Jalandhar. And in the process, he thought he will come here and also meet the Prime Minister and tell him how important it is for India and Pakistan to get back to dialogue. And he told the media that he discussed a wide range of issues with the Prime Minister. Terrorism also featured in the discussions, and the escalation of tension on line of control. Then they also talked trade and business, and he said that we will be happy to have the DGMO level meeting. And immediately after his visit, the date was announced, 24th. They are meeting tomorrow. The two DGMOs, General Bhatia from our side and General Amir Riaz from Pakistan side. And he also said that we discuss our creeks, Siachen, water sharing, Kashmir, and other issues as well. But he met the Prime Minister only for 20 minutes. So what he would have discussed, you would imagine, he must have only referred to these issues and would not have had time to go into details on any of these issues. And he came out with a very interesting formulation that the two countries have fought several wars, lost hundreds of lives, wasted resources, without resolving any of the outstanding issues or achieving anything. Let us forget the baggage of the past and make a new beginning. While we speak of commerce and trade, we must also deal with strategic issues. Pushing Kashmir aside will never work because it has the potential to escalate. God forbid something happens, it will be terrible for all of us. So he left it with some caution as well that Kashmir has to be resolved. And trade and commerce alone will not matter. But his primary effort here was to give a push to trade and commerce between India and Pakistan. And he went to Jalandhar and he also participated in some meetings there, which was also aimed at kickstarting trade and commerce between India and Pakistan. So all in all, it suggests that he came here. He perhaps came here as an emissary from his brother of his brother. And Nawaz Sharif has been talking about the need to restart the dialogue, and he also emphasized on that. And those of you who have watched him, in that interview in IBN, on IBN with Javed Ansari, would know that he was always trying to say that if you say that our army has been a spoiler, he didn't say it in so many words, but he said that your army has been a spoiler too, and he referred to Siachen while saying this. So he said, let us not talk about the past. A lot of bad things have happened in the past, but we should be able to make a good beginning now. So that was him when he came here, and interestingly, quite it was covered in the Pakistani media very widely, and Nawai was caustic as ever. They said that Shahbaz Sharif has managed to talk about Kashmir and managed to talk about the water-related issues, and therein lies the key to Indo-Pak relations, and India has to do something to resolve these issues. So all in all, he found a good review in India and good review in Pakistan as well. But in India, people say that he shouldn't have raised the Kashmir issue so much. But when he went back, he said to his people there, he said that he was talking about peace here, but there he tried to show it to his people that he was very firm on the issues of relevance, of importance for Pakistan. And he said, in fact, he also visited his ancestral village, Jati Umrah. His father had migrated from Jati Umrah in 1932. They were basically, small farmers, small-time farmers, but they had migrated to Lahore and settled down there. But he went there and he was given a hero's welcome there. And after that, he said, I'm overwhelmed. And then he also participated, was the chief guest at the World Kabaddi Championship at Ludhiana, as you heard. And where, India won the championship. And he and the Punjab government, Pakistan Punjab government, gave a reward of 2 crore rupees, to the Indian participants, an Indian team. Whereas the Indian Punjab Prime Minister Qasim Badal gave away a sum of 1 crore rupees to the Pakistani Kabaddi team. So, and there also he made that speech that demolish all walls which hinders the prosperity and progress of both the states. So he said that we have to bring peace to the subcontinent, so that we fight out issues like poverty, illiteracy, disease, and things like that. He also made a visit to the Punjab Agricultural University, Ludhiana and Faisalabad, and also he said that a high-level committee of officers and vice chancellors of Punjab Agricultural University, Ludhiana, Faisalabad, came together and signed some agreement there, so that they will cooperate in future. So when he went back, he came out with this observation while talking to media there. He said, Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh repeated the same old complaints, to which I responded that Pakistan too has many complaints about the hegemonic conduct of India. Had Pakistan not acquired nuclear power, India would have tried to oppress us. If the lingering issues were not addressed through negotiations, peace in the region would remain only a dream. We all must be on the same page in order to steer Pakistan out of the troubled waters. The elite, the affluent, the educated members of the society have to answer why Pakistan as a nation is in its current worrisome state. So he talked about internal issues, but in the meanwhile he talked about his meeting with Prime Minister and how firmly he put forward his views, and how the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was only talking about the old issues and full of complaints. But he was trying to levelize himself by saying that we said that we also have problems, but hegemonic behavior was not to be tolerated. But in all the same, we have to find a way of getting together and normalizing relationship between India and Pakistan. So what I see from all this is that there is a precipitate wish to take the process forward, and the political leadership in Pakistan is ready for restart of the dialogue. And there is a small window of opportunity because you have a new army chief who has come to, who has just assumed office, and as you know, he was not the one chosen by the earlier army chief. Army chief was gravitating towards someone else. So he will perhaps take time to establish himself as the leader of the army. And as you know, the army of Pakistan is so irreconcilably hostile towards India. And as we have observed in the past, they are the main spoilers, and especially the ISA within the army has been the main spoiler in Indo-Pak dialogue. So, but we have a window of opportunity now for about a year or so. But I wanted to flag this point that in spite of the fact that the leadership of Pakistan wants peace with India, but they still continue to bring in the issue of Kashmir, which is an irritant of India, and that really shows how difficult it will be to take this process forward. I think we have agreed to take the process forward, and as the DGMO's meeting is coming up, it seems that we are ready to re-engage Pakistan with on the dialogic track, and I think it is necessary for us to participate in the dialogue. But I am only flagging this point that it will not be that easy to bring about reconciliation, because the steps taken by the Musharraf government earlier, to normalize relationship with India, are not welcome to this administration anymore. Maybe we'll have to start with the clean slate. Of course, they have not pushed back the cross-LOC travel and trade, so some of it will remain, but much of it will be redefined and reinvented. The peace process will be perhaps reinvented. So while negotiating with the political leadership of Pakistan, we have to keep in mind that they will be pushing for a resolution of issues like Sarpi, Siachen, and Tulbul and other issues like that. So we have to we have to be mindful of our own interests and take the process forward and try to convince the political leadership. Perhaps as we had to certain extent convinced the Musharraf administration that the peace is non-negotiable, and while the issues can wait, it is imperative for India and Pakistan to at least to have better trade and commercial relationship, people-to-people relationship, and we have relaxed the visa norms, and we will expect these things to proceed so that you have a conducive environment in which all these difficult issues can be taken up later. So the resolution of the issue can wait, but the engagement shouldn't. I think we should go forward and engage with Pakistan, mindful of our interest and mindful of this fact that Pakistan is not going to be too soft on issues like Kashmir, terrorism and water. They have in fact brought back water into the front. Of course, we are at the bilateral level, officially we are not discussing water, but perhaps we are going to discuss it very soon. With that I will rest my case, and if you have any questions or any observations, please.